Basically what this class is going to be about is how to forecast for next year and how to use command to do so. If you've ever taken the class 30, 30, 40, it's going to be a lot of that with command kind of built into it, okay? And if you haven't heard of any of that, stay tuned because this is what we're getting ready to do. My name's Ryan Yarbrough. If you guys don't know, I am your regional technology director for South Florida, which is just a fancy way of saying that I just am the nerd of the group that likes command and likes to play with it and likes to teach others how to do it. I've been doing this for quite a while. I've been in real estate pretty much all my life. I grew up with real estate parents, and then I got into real estate right out of college. And I've been with Keller Williams now for 9 years of this journey, and I've all been at the Clearwater office. I haven't moved offices. I've been staying in the same place. Before that, I did own my own brokerage in Tennessee. I ran a brokerage there for a while and learned a valuable lesson that it's nice to have somebody else having to pay the bills and not have to have them paid by myself. So not only that, but there's a lot of pressure that goes behind that with teaching and training all those people in your market center and doing it at the same time. So having the leverage of Keller Williams has been great for me and great for me to be able to learn from. I mean, look at what we're doing right here. We're sharing our culture by sharing with each other. So I'm now running around teaching. I still run my team. We're in the Clearwater area. It's me and 2 others and an admin, and I will show you how I'm going to be setting up my team. Yes, I also play baseball on the side too. Yes, got that in chat. You don't make as much money as the actual Ryan Yarbrough does for the Rays. So let me see if I can get my screen ready here for me. Just bear with me. Oh, yes. Yeah. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Problem I have is I can't. All right, so on my screen here, you should see my dashboard. What we're going to be spending all of our time in today is this reporting section right here. So if you're following along with me, I highly suggest you go to the reporting section, click on it. If you don't know what it is, as you saw hovering over it tells you, you can also click on the KW and you can see the report's name shows up. Go ahead and click on that now. Now, if you've never done planning before when it comes to this, what we're doing is we're thinking with the end in mind, all right? We're going to start by knowing how much do you want to make. Now, I ask this question a lot, especially when I'm talking to recruits, and it's a pretty common answer of 100,000. Everybody says 100,000, right? Sometimes we get 50,000, but most of the time it's 100,000. So we can enter that. We also kind of have to have an idea of what kind of business we're going to run, like how many buyers are we going to work with, how many sellers are we going to work with to get to that goal. So we're going to work through that now. And my button is right here. So I'm right here in the database health. It shows my database health right now. What we're looking for is the goals section. To the very top, across the top of it. All right, now we're in goals. These are my 2021 goals, okay? So I can click right here and see whether I'm looking, what goals I'm looking at. Now I need to set up 2022. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click Get Started. And now you can see right here, it says what we're We're going to do all of our work over here on the right-hand side, and it's going to present over here on the left-hand side. So on the right-hand side, what we're looking at is annual profit goals for next year. So we want to make sure we're on year 2022. Okay. If you don't have 2022 up, you want to click on it and change it to 2022. You don't want to be on 2021. Should default to that though. Next is what your annual profit goal is. Again, this is profit. This is money in your pocket. How much do you want to make? Not how much do you want the business to make? How much do you want to make? So it's going to be different for everybody. This is your personal preference. So what that was set to was the millionaire real estate, considering you want to make $1 million. So at $1 million, what we're looking at here is we have expenses of $750,000, cost of sales at $750,000. And it's okay if you don't know what that means, because we're going to go into that. Also, just in case you don't know what it means, we have these valuable little tips right here that if you click on the little eyeballs or the little eyes right there, it'll tell you exactly what that means. So what is your annual profit goal? It tells you exactly what that is. The amount of profit your business earns before taxes and after subtracting the cost of sale or operating expenses from your CGI or GCI. So basically everything you spend subtracted from what you've actually made, or these right here. So expenses, what are those expenses? Because some of these people think, and you guys probably can't see this, I just realized that my screen is really, really small because I'm on a huge screen. Is that better?
Yes.
I feel like I'm talking to nobody, so I'm gonna open this up a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better now. Yes? A little bit bigger. All right, so if I click on this eye right here, it says expenses that are made whether or not the transaction takes place. So salaries, lead generation, marketing expenses, education, occupancy, automobile expenses, things like that. So these are everything we spend money on. And it doesn't even matter. If we don't sell a house, we still spent the money on getting that post put in the yard, right? So it's still an expense there. Cost of sale. Now, this is the one that's kind of tricky for some people. Expenses that are made only when a transaction takes place. So splits to an agent, transaction coordinators, ISAs, the market center brokerage, as well as referral fees and other transaction dependent expenses. So that's important part to know right there. Cost of sale, easiest way to remember is only if the transaction has a split in it, and you're most of the time is going to be a cost of sale. Any questions on that? All right, so everything that's right here is also showing right here in this GCI breakdown. So you can see that this 1 million, it says 2.5 million, right? That's not what I wrote over here, and that's okay. We wrote 1 million here. However, to get to the 1 million, we have other things. We have annual profit goal of 1 million. Cost of sale is going to be 750,000. Operating expenses are 250,000, which comes to $2.5 million added up. So that's in line with the 40, 30, 30, which we typically say 30, 30, 40. So your cost of sale and your operating expenses subtracted from your annual profit gives you your goal of 2.5 million annual estimated GCI. Does that make sense to everybody? I know, guys, that this is kind of like doing your taxes, and this isn't the most fun thing to do in the world. And we're getting ready to go into 2022. So it is important that you do know these things so that you can be prepared. It's very difficult to go sell real estate and not have a goal. If you have a goal, you can push yourself a lot more. So have that goal, set that goal. And as it says in the one thing, when you set those goals, you got to aim high, right? You don't aim right at the target, you aim high. So set that goal higher than what you would expect. So if you did 14 transactions this year, don't shoot for 15. Come on now. Let's double that. Let's go for 30 transactions this year. All right. Let's make it a high goal. Because I guarantee you, if you shoot for that 30 transactions after doing 14 and you do 25, you're not going to probably be mad at yourself. You're going to be happy you did your 25, right? Right, Brandon?
Yes.
Thank you. I needed a voice. Again, I feel like I'm talking to myself. All right. So set your sights high. All right. The other thing we see right here is where is our business at? We have the business makeup right here. We have listings, buyers, and leases. So 50% to listings, 50% to the buyer. So this is based upon what you do. So if you do your business this way, great. This isn't how I do my business. My business is pretty much I focus mostly on listings. Earlier in my career, this was completely flipped around. Earlier in my career, it was pretty much 75% buyers, 25% listings. Now it's completely flipped. So now I'm doing 75% listings, 25% buyers, which is an opportunity for me because now I can start focusing on pushing more buyers towards the buyer agents on my team. If you do leases, you want to take into account your leases section as well. So definitely go ahead and put that in there. In our area, we don't do leases, so we don't have that opportunity. Average commission per unit. All right, so this is where you know your commission in there. So think about what your average sales cost is. So in our area, I'd say now our average sales price is somewhere around 300,000. It used to be lower, but it's just been skyrocketing lately. I'm sure that's the same for everybody. So if I take 300,000 and multiply that by the average commission, I'm going to say listings. So what I did here is I took what the average price point was and I multiplied it by what I make. So typically on listings, we're somewhere between 3 and 3.5%. So I'm just going to go to the high end right here. I'll just put 10,000. And then buyers, we're between 2.5 and 3%. So I pretty much want that alone. We don't really do leases here. So this is just for my benefit. That tells me where I'm at. So for me to be a millionaire real estate agent, those are the numbers I would be running off of. So I will hit the next button now and take me to the next screen. So this is going to talk to us about our conversion rates. So if I'm a new agent, my conversion rates are probably going to be pretty low. But as an experienced agent, you should see your conversion rates a little higher. And they're also going to be different depending upon the types of leads you're working with. So if you're working mostly within your sphere, you're probably going to see your leads to contacts ratio much higher than 5%. You're probably going to be closer to maybe 10, 12, 13%. But if you're working with a lot of online leads, you're probably going to see that leads to contact number way lower because it's just the nature of the beast. Typically, we're looking at around 3% for online leads. So right now, because those online leads is dragging mine down to around a 5, I'm actually going to probably up that a little bit. I'm going to say we're probably closer to 7. Commission contacts to appointments. Okay. So once I have contact with that person, how likely am I to set an appointment? So once I make contact, I'm going to actually say mine's higher there. Once I actually get the contact, maybe I might be able to get in around, maybe I'll say 12%. Appointment set. Now, if anybody has any questions as I'm going, like how I got that number, feel free. I'm trying to explain that, but feel free to interrupt me. Appointment set to appointments kept. Now I'm going to keep my number right about here. Most of the time, if I meet with somebody, I'm taking that deal home. I'm a pretty good closer. So appointment set to appointments kept. I'm getting the appointment and I'm keeping the appointment and going into agreement. I'm not perfect, so I'm not going to put that up to like 90 or anything like that. There's always a chance for losing it. Agreements under contract, pending, 75. A lot of this is feeling it. Once you've done this for a while, you can actually go look at your numbers and pull them up and see exactly where you're at. That's one of the beauties of making sure that you follow what some of these guys have told you earlier on today. If you're following opportunities and putting your opportunities in there and pushing them through your timeline, you actually know these numbers because eventually Kelly, the AI in our background, will start doing these numbers for you. Right now, you have to manually do it until it knows it and until Kelly's really working at a high level. So right now we put our numbers in. All right, so we've edited all that. So that's where it's all sitting right now. Leads all the way down to close units. That's your pipeline, it's your funnel. Get to a $1 million profit. All right, so we're gonna review these goals. There's my conversion rates. There's my breakdown. Does everything look good? If so, we're gonna hit what's next. And then we're gonna go to view my goals. Now in here, you're going to see a goal tracker going across the top. Right here is where command becomes magical. It tracks all your numbers in here. So it is very important that when you create an opportunity that you spend the time to put those dates in, because those dates tie into this, okay? So the leads, the contacts, the appointments set, appointments kept, you're putting dates in for these things and you're moving them across the pipeline. That is also what feeds these numbers right here. So make sure that you're putting the dates in there. And I will actually go to an appointment as soon as I get done with discussing this information here and show you what I'm talking about. But appointments kept, all this is again predicated on the dates and you moving them through the timeline. So make sure you do that stuff. All right, so in here, depending upon what my goals are, right now we're looking at 2021 goals. So I'm going to go ahead and change. Well, it's not populating my 2022 goals yet, so I can't see them. It won't populate them until we hit 2022. So don't go looking for you being able to toggle through them because they're going to make you finish up this year first. But we will review my 2021 goals right now. So this is showing all team members. My numbers are not correct in here. Bring up Bo. So I can go through and I can adjust this and I can see Bo, who's a member of my team, and I can see what he's doing this year or this month. I don't like looking at this year. I like to break it down to this month. I would love to break it down to this week. But I can see in here that this week, whether they met their goal. Now these numbers should be filled out. So you should see what your leads are, what your monthly goal is. Typically, I'm always behind on this. So when you do get behind, what do you do? Well, that depends on the type of lead generation you do. So if you're doing a lot of lead generation online, then you need to increase the amount of leads that you're getting online by running more ads. If you're getting your leads from your sphere, then you need to make more calls. You need to be in more relationship with these people. If you need to go network, go get in front of people, start adding these leads into here. Then when it comes to contacts, so how do I get more contacts in here? Well, a lead becomes a contact once you have that conversation with them. They're getting them moved over to there and off of the lead. So the only way a lead shows up in this bucket, that little tick mark that's in your contact's name, if it has that tick mark next to lead, then they're a lead. They're going to show up in here as a lead. That's how it counts it. As soon as you remove that, they become a contact. All right. And then when you put them into an opportunity and you start putting the dates in there, appointment set, appointment kept, agreement, under contract, and closed, that's what controls these areas. And that's what gives you your numbers that run across the bottom.
So after we send out the golden letter, one of our follow-up things to do.
Were you talking to us? Because I was actually interested in hearing what you do. Last I heard is
It was a link from the office. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I wanted to hear what the answer was. All right, so
It's on the pivot channel.
got it. You're able to come in here and also compare members against each other. So if you want to compare against the different people that are on your team, you're able to do that as well. All right. Now you have a profit tracker, which shows your profit you have for this year. Again, you can come and switch it between this year and this month so you can see where you're at. Hopefully yours is working. I don't know why mine's not working right now. Let me see if I can switch it over to personal and see if that works. Here we go. I hadn't set my team goals before yet. I set them as a personal goal last year. So you can see the numbers in here. So a monthly goal of 3,515 leads to
Motherfucker.
for the year. And then getting your contacts in here. So right now it says that I met 100% of my contacts because I've got 36 a month to date.
That's good enough.
And let's see, profit tracker for the month, 25,000. It's not showing it yet. None of ours is closing.
Because I only got one good ear, and the one good.
I think that somebody has a mic.
Yeah, I think we got it. All right, so activities breakdown. This is one of my favorite ones in here. Okay, so this shows this year in your activities. What are you doing? Are you sending out calendar events? Are you doing emails or other? It's all broken down in here, and you can go into other and see what activities you've been putting in there. So We did 2138 in emails. We did calendar events at 14170. So that's where most of it's being done. This is all the activities that show up in your timelines of your contacts. If you want to see it in a percentage value, you can of course click that and see that as well. Oops. And there you can see a percentage. There's the conversion rate that we were just setting from before we were looking at, so we can see that at all times. And then we have the CGI breakdown again, showing it at all times. Now, that's just one section of it, okay? This report section gives you so much more. If I come up here, I can go to reports. And I can look at different opportunity reports. I can look at goals reports. So again, here's our goals. We can see our CGI, our profit, closed units, under contract, agreements, agreement set, appointments kept, contracts, and leads. We are using this. Are we using this perfectly? No, but we are using it. And that's all I really would say for anybody, is to just use it and use it to the best of your ability. We're not perfect at it, but we're growing and getting better and better at it each day. I like the way of thinking of saying at least 1% better each and every day we get better at it. So we're going to consistently work on getting the agents on my team to continue to put in their information, all that contact information, just like everybody else we teach to do it. I have to teach agents on my team to do the same thing. So you can get that. These are good conversation reports to have too, because I can even come into go to the opportunities report. I can see what's going on with those opportunities in here. How many of them are in certain areas, like cultivate, appointments, active, under contract. Same thing, the buyers, what's in there, what's the volume in there. The reason these aren't showing is because I'm on my personal, and most of mine are sitting on my team. So if I switch over, I can see what's in there. So as it shows right now, we've got about 241,000 sitting in the listing under contract phase right now. Same in the buyer, we got 222 over here. So that gives me an idea of where we're at. So if you ever want to see exactly where you're at, you can go and do that. That's opportunities. And then we'll look at the database one. So we looked at goals and opportunities. Now here's database. You can see how your database is doing. So database health scores at 50.89. So I definitely have some opportunity to work on there, because to me, I really want my database to be closer to the 90%. That's my goal. More in relation, more people we have a database score up, the more likely you are to convert on these leads. All right, so that's the reporting section, and that's the goals section. You have activities, you have lead routing, emails, texts, calls. So there's lots of reports in here that you can go through and play with. Next part I'm going to show you is what I was talking about before when we were in the opportunities, is how to get those dates in there to make sure that they tie so that you're updating your reports correctly. So as we come in here, you should have saw this in our opportunities class earlier on building an MREA pipeline with Brandon. Brandon did an amazing job of teaching that class. So once you come into here, you do see these 5% and all that. So I'm going to go into this opportunity that I have here. And when I come, we have in the general information area, the appointment schedule, the appointment date, agreement one, contract date, close, estimated price, all this stuff is right here. This is the stuff that you want to make sure that you update. As long as these dates are in here, you're going to move them along the pipeline well. Also, you can also see in here that you've got your volume put in here. This is the information, again, that you put in that same place. You tell it how much the property is going to be sold for. You're also going to tell it, if you don't know, like you're working with a buyer, you think that they're somewhere between 300 and 500. So we put it at 350, and we just go with that until we find a property, put them under contract on. But at least it gives us an idea, and you can push them through the pipeline. What do you want to understand is in this pipeline right here, you've got a potential income and a probable income. This almost becomes like a game. You want to try and get your probable income as close to your potential income in theory, because of the fact that you want to make more money. Obviously, you don't want, this is quite a bit right here, and this is not a lot. We want this number to be closer to this number, because this is what we actually are probably going to make. But in reality, we never want to see these two numbers actually get close together, because if you do, that means that your pipeline is drying up. You're going out of business. So we always want to continually move the needle on both these numbers up, which means you're putting opportunities into the pipeline. As soon as you meet these people and you have a conversation, that becomes an opportunity. You push it through the pipeline and you continue to edit the dates on it and move it across that pipeline. If that becomes too much for you, then I highly suggest you leverage that part and get yourself an operations person to do that for you. Because those numbers, if you're a numbers driven person, those numbers drive back to the reporting section that we just went over. And that's what's going to tell you exactly how you're doing. If you want to know how you're doing, just keep going back to that section and checking it. It'll tell you exactly how you're doing. And once Command Mobile comes out, it'll be right on your dashboard there too, because you'll see what your goals are and what you're setting for. And that's coming up pretty soon. I won't give you an exact date on it, but we're looking within the next couple months.